NOLA Gent here at Darwell's Cafe. Good times. Welcome to NOLA Gent. Let the good times roll. In this episode, we're in Long Beach, Mississippi at Darwell's Cafe, which is one of the best seafood restaurants on the beach. My little sister lives in the area, and this is her favorite restaurant. So, I can confirm that this is where you can eat where locals eat. This is one of the most fun beach restaurants that really highlights coastline food. They don't sell alcohol here, but they do welcome byob. This would be one of the best seafood restaurants on the beach, but it is a short distance away from the beach, so you don't get any actual beach views here. You do, however, get an overwhelming view of all of the bright colors and multiple items just strewn all over the wall. So, get ready to be overwhelmed with so many things to look at inside. So you have to order at the front counter when you first walk in, so you do have to kind of hunt around to see where the menus are hidden. And there's not just one area with a menu, it's spread all over the place on the walls. They do have a paper menu, but there's different items to order in all of these areas. They've got this side of the wall with sandwiches, salads, and other specials they have. Above the order counter are some of their more popular items that people like. And then they just have specials listed on a board to the left of the order counter. And I've already decided to go with the redfish Donez special, so this looks fantastic. And then my total was $42.53, which is a little on the expensive side for the area. But as we turn around, this is where you get your drinks, and then you go to your table, and then your waitress will bring your food to the table from there. Darwell's Cafe is noted for their never-fried seafood and beach live food attitude, along with constantly offering live music. And there is actually live music going on right now outside of the patio, but I'm going to sit inside just so I can film my meal here a little better for all of you out there. And my salad has already arrived. In our great beach seafood restaurant review, we'll be looking at items I've eaten here over several visits, but I still haven't tried everything here yet, as they have a huge menu, so that, along with the constantly changing daily specials, makes it nearly impossible to ever try everything here, and I've been trying for years, and I'm not even close. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing the interior so far, but now we're going to dig into my salad and enjoy this. Oh, yes. This is a big pile of salad, and I have a lot more food on the way. So this restaurant can often get really packed and crowded, as it's gotten very popular with the locals and tourists alike. During the high season, there can often be a line and lots of crowds. So right now, we're lucky that there's not a lot of people around and there's plenty of space. We are still in the COVID-19 restrictions, so that's also impacting the number of people who can be in here. And I also arrived early because I know how popular this place is and how crowded it can get. If you are looking for where to get delicious beach food, then many folks in the area say this is the best seafood on the beach with the best beach seafood. Darwell's has been recognized as one of the top great beach restaurants, and you should check out their website to see all their accolades for being one of the great beach restaurants. Darwell's Cafe and many of the restaurant's fans proclaim this to be the best place for seafood on Gulf Coast sand.
Go pickles.
It's a pretty good salad, but now it's time to move on to the seafood. Oh yes, my gumbo has arrived. I do like lemon, but I've never had it put on top of my gumbo like this, so I find this rather unusual. So, I don't know what to think about that. But we're gonna dig in. Of course, we've got to add a very important ingredient first to make sure this is the optimal flavor sensation, to make everything the way it needs to be. So, of course, that means adding a little Tabasco sauce here. I always need a little Tabasco in here to perk the flavor up, as it's just a mandatory requirement as far as I'm concerned. I've never met a gumbo yet that didn't need a little hot sauce in it just to give it that little extra flavor I like so much. Having restaurants on the coast offering great Gulf Coast food is expected of a Gulf Coast restaurant, so let's get ready to enjoy some seafood on the coast. As this gumbo definitely has some nice sized shrimp in there, so let's dig on in. It looks good so far. The flavor is good. The texture is a little different than I'm used to from the gumbos in Louisiana.
Tomatoes in the gumbo.
This is a large serving too for a cup size. There's a lot in here. So in Louisiana, we have lots of different kinds of gumbo. Our Creole gumbo in New Orleans has several varieties and types. And then the Cajun gumbo in Acadiana and other Cajun restaurants and areas in Louisiana also has their own style. Then we have the Gulf Coast style, like this. It's its own animal.
A little too soft on the outside to be from New Orleans. Not New Orleans rich bread.
So this is definitely Mississippi Creole food and not New Orleans traditional Creole food, as the textures and flavors are just a little bit different and not what we would have in New Orleans. So just go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and smash that subscribe button, and I'd really appreciate it, because now our main entree has arrived. This thing's a monster. So if you recall, I got the redfish Donez special, and I chose to get it grilled. So this is served with crab cake and jumbo lump crab and a side of asparagus.
A crab cake covered in crab.
Darwell's is also noted for their sauces, and you usually get at least 2 sauces with most of your meals. And that's one of the things my little sister really loves about this place, are these sauces. So I prefer more of a remoulade. They do have things similar to remoulade here, but it's different than the remoulade I'm used to. It's a decent sauce. I like it. I like regular remoulade better, though. Although, even in the New Orleans area, some places have been going off the rails with their remoulade. A proper remoulade will be made with Creole mustard, and some places aren't using the Creole mustard anymore in their remoulade. That's not a remoulade in my book. Very strict. I love my Creole mustard in my remoulade. So I definitely was not expecting this huge amount of crab that I got with this dish. So I had to dig down to really get to the actual fish. So the redfish is cooked perfectly. It does have a nice flavor. So the crab definitely does complement it. I thought the crab would maybe have come in more of an actual sauce. So I did find the fact that it's just lump crab meat piled on top of the crab cake, and none of it has a sauce on top of it. A little bit unusual from what I'm used to with traditional New Orleans Creole food. So definitely Darwell's is its own unique creature of approaching Creole food in a Mississippi way, but even in Mississippi and the Gulf Coast, every place is a very unique way they take their spin on what they call New Orleans food, but it's definitely a very unique and regional approach to how they do things. So if you're used to New Orleans food, this is definitely not what we typically eat, and it's similar but different, and the small things make huge differences often. And this dish is a good example, because in the vast majority of traditional New Orleans Creole dishes, this would have had a sauce over it. So here at Darwell's, without having that sauce, it definitely is standing out from what you would get in most of the traditional Creole restaurants in New Orleans. So it's not anything bad or terrible about this, it's just different. So when you're used to a certain way of things being done, you're like, oh, well, what's going on here? This is a little different. So it's good to have a little variety in life, a little bit of difference, so vive la différence. And if you think variety is the spice of life too, go ahead and smash that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Now, if you were forcing me to make a decision and a judgment call, I would have to say that I do prefer our New Orleans Creole haute cuisine sauces, certainly just because what's not better with the sauce? That's just my personal opinion. Other people like different things, and that's fine. And it's just what I'm used to from the New Orleans style of the hot cuisine of the Creole tradition. You could ask some of my friends from Texas the same question, and they would tell you they would rather have tacos. And probably not fish tacos, they would rather have chicken or beef. So it really is fascinating how so much of our food preferences, attitudes, and approaches to things are so culturally based and environmentally based on what we've grown up with. And how sometimes we love things that are completely different from what we grew up with, and we just can't get enough of it. Where in other cases, things that are kind of similar to what we grew up with, we're not that big of a fan of because it's lacking something or it's not quite exactly like the way that we liked it. So people are very strange creatures in the way that we have our preferences for things. And food is one of those areas where it's fascinating to just get into people's psychology and see what makes them tick as far as their likes and dislikes on items. So this is really a great way to get a better understanding of what makes us get along and not get along sometimes, and what makes people happy and unhappy sometimes. So certainly food is something that can bring us together or tear us apart based on what restaurants we choose, what types of food we like. And oh goodness, family members can get in all sorts of terrible brawls for all kinds of chaos between different sides of the family with different types of food and dishes. So the great food fight continues in humanity between regions, households, countries, and different nations as we fight for which food items we think are the best and what types and items of things and the way we like to cook them. And then some of us just like to give a little nod and taste to as many different things as we can. And it just seems the more similar it is, though, to my New Orleans cuisine when they get off the rails a little bit from what I'm used to. Sometimes that gives me more pause than completely unusual food. But even without one of my beloved sauces on it, this was still a great dish, and I did enjoy my meal. And then some past delicious items that I've had here are the angel hair yum yum with shrimp, crab meat, mushrooms, and pasta, the redfish smothered crawfish etouffee and grilled shrimp, and the sliced prime rib. So those were just a few of the delicious items I've had here. There's still a lot more I want to try, and right now we're going to dig into this cheesecake, which also looks amazing and delicious. Oh, because you know the NOLA Gent has to have a little cheesecake whenever it's on the menu. Oh yes, this looks fantastic. So let's see if I can get it up into my mouth.
Cheesecake is warm.
So, as we were just talking about, different strokes for different folks with their food. I think I prefer my cheesecake to be more on the cool side, or at least room temperature side. This is quite warm cheesecake. The chocolate drizzle maybe heated it up a lot more to melt the chocolate over it somehow. Maybe that was the approach there. Definitely though, I'd say that I'm not a fan of hot or warm cheesecake. I prefer my cheesecake to be more on the cooler side personally. But hey, it's a new approach to things. Maybe this is a new trend going on. Not a trend I think I can ever jump on board to. I'm not much of a trend jumper. I try to maintain a nice balance. Keep that balance going. And obviously I still managed to destroy it even with it being warm, so it was still a pretty good cheesecake overall. And also go ahead and just destroy that thumbs up and the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Getting one of the best restaurants on the coast along with live music is a great recipe for getting fun beach restaurants on the coast. So now I'm going to take you on a quick tour of the outdoor patio and let you hear some of this great live music. They do have some nice shows on this stage, and I look forward to them starting them up again sooner than later. So if you're ever in this area, stop in, and maybe I'll see you here.
Darwell's, good times here with NOLA Gent, having fun.
Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you would just click on the little circle here with a picture of my head in there and subscribe to the NOLA Gent channel, it would really help me a lot. I really appreciate it. Thank you.